With a net worth of $420 million, Adam Sandler is one of the richest actors in Hollywood. His goofy shtick has earned him fans around the world, and many of his movies have grossed hundreds of millions of dollars at the box office. His on-screen antics have turned him into a comedy icon. Who can forget his epic fistfight with Bob Barker in Happy Gilmore? And admit it, you shed a tear when he serenaded Drew Barrymore in The Wedding Singer. He has even made an impression on today's youth as the voice of Dracula in the incredibly popular Hotel Transylvania movies. He made $10 million alone from Hotel Transylvania 3 Summer Vacation. Many consider Adam Sandler to be one of the greatest Saturday Night Live alums in history, even though he was unceremoniously fired from the show. We all bust a gut when he teamed up with Chris Farley in the Zagat sketches. Sandler appeared with Farley in so many great SNL sketches, from the Hurley Boy to Schmidt's Gay Beer. Name a more iconic duo. Okay, maybe Farley and Spade. Sandler played so many memorable characters on SNL, from Opera Man to Canteen Boy, and he debuted many of his classic tunes on the show like the Hanukkah Song and Lunch Ladyland. Sandler's comedy career began when he was only 17 years old. He started performing at open mic nights in Boston, and before long, he became a favorite in clubs around the city. He continued performing stand-up while he attended NYU, but his big break came when he was discovered by fellow SNL alum and former Weekend Update host Dennis Miller. Miller saw Sandler perform a set in LA, and he was impressed. Miller recommended Sandler to Lorne Michaels, and before long, Adam Sandler was a featured player on SNL. The Sandman lasted 5 seasons on SNL, but he was eventually fired. You are probably shocked to learn that Sandler was fired from SNL, but Chris Farley and Norm Macdonald were fired too. The show is known for firing some of the funniest people of all time. Being fired from SNL was probably one of the best things to happen to Sandler. After leaving the show, he went on to star in some of the biggest comedy movies of all time. Sandler earned $1.7 million for his breakthrough role, Billy Madison, and the movie became a cult classic. He took home $2 million for Happy Gilmore, $2.5 million for Bulletproof, and $8 million for Big Daddy. Big Daddy became Sandler's biggest hit yet. The film earned a staggering $235 million and cost only $36 million to make. The movie was so profitable that Sony Pictures signed Sandler to a lucrative contract that would make any other Hollywood star jealous. Sandler received a $20 million base salary for future Sony films, plus 20 to 25% of the back end. For anger management, Sandler managed to make $60 million thanks to the deal. Unfortunately, the deal didn't always work out in the studio's favor. Sandler's movies started to make less and less at the box office, and the box office blunder Jack and Jill meant Sandler would have to look elsewhere if he wanted to keep making millions of dollars per movie. In 2014, Sandler signed an impressive deal with Netflix, which meant the big paydays would keep coming. Sandler initially signed a 4-picture deal with Netflix worth a staggering $250 million. Ridiculous 6, The Do-Over, Sandy Wexler, and The Week Of all received terrible reviews. In fact, Ridiculous 6 scored 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. But reviews don't really matter to Netflix. The only thing that matters to Netflix is eyeballs, and Sandler's movies proved to be incredibly popular. So many people watch Sandler's Netflix movies that the streaming service renewed the contract in 2017. Sandler received another $250 million to star in and produce 4 more movies. So far, only 2 films from this deal have debuted on Netflix: Murder Mystery and the recently released Hubie Halloween. However, Murder Mystery was so popular that Netflix handed over even more cash. The contract was renewed for a 3rd time earlier this year, and Sandler got a pay bump this time. Sandler will receive $275 million to make 4 more films. That's a total of $775 million for 12 movies. Naturally, Sandler doesn't get to keep all that money because the movies do cost money to make, but the budgets are relatively small in comparison to the amount of money that Netflix forks over. Since Sandler's Netflix contract is so lucrative, it's quite possible that Sandler could one day be worth over $1 billion. Netflix will have no problem renewing the contract in perpetuity because people simply can't get enough of Sandler's movies. Murder Mystery was the most popular movie on Netflix last year. Sandler's co-star Jennifer Aniston probably had something to do with that. According to Netflix, Murder Mystery was watched by 83 million households in its first 4 weeks of release. Sandler had a salary of $57 million in 2019, which makes him the 6th highest paid actor in the world. The Sandman definitely enjoys spending his money. He has an extensive real estate portfolio and plenty of cool cars. He especially enjoys spending money on his friends and family. It's no secret that Sandler films many of his movies in far-off locales just so he can take an extended vacation with his wife, daughters, and best buddies. Sandler has been doing this for years. He first got the idea when he filmed 50 First Dates in Hawaii with Drew Barrymore. Blended was filmed in South Africa. You Don't Mess with the Zohan was filmed in Mexico, and he basically only made Jack and Jill so he could go on a cruise. Sandler loved Hawaii so much that he filmed Just Go With It there too. Sandler might have a lot of money by turning his movies into vacations, but he still does spend a lot of his own money. He reportedly gave his friends Maseratis after the success of Grown Ups. The movie made $270 million at the box office, so to thank his co-stars, he gifted them exclusive Italian sports cars. Sandler has no qualms about giving cars away, but he does have a fairly impressive car collection of his own. It may not be anywhere near as extensive as Seinfeld's car collection, but it's still impressive nonetheless. Sandler owns a $50,000 Dodge Challenger SRT, an $80,000 Cadillac Escalade Hybrid, and a $125,000 Cadillac DTS. He is so rich that he bought an upscale mansion in Pacific Palisades and then bought the mansion next door, too. His $13 million, 12,860 square foot primary residence has 7 bathrooms, 14 bedrooms, and a massive outdoor pool. There's even a basketball court where Sandler can shoot some hoops. The basketball court is a great place to hang if his buddy Shaq ever comes over. Pacific Palisades is one of the most upscale neighborhoods in Los Angeles, and Sandler has many famous neighbors like Tom Hanks, Steven Spielberg, Matt Damon, and even Conan O'Brien. Sandler also owns a stunning beach house in Malibu. He bought the 1,315 square foot beachfront property in 2011 for $3.1 million, and it turned out to be a great investment because now it's worth more than $6 million. The Malibu beach house has 3 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms, and Sandler has regularly been spotted hanging out on the beach with his daughters. The stunning beach house also features a large entertainment patio at beach level, as well as a skylight that runs the length of the entire home. Sandler doesn't just have properties in California, he also owns a $1.25 million condo in Boca Raton, Florida. His 2,600 square foot Florida condo was originally built in 1981, and it has 3 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. Sandler purchased the condo way back in 1999 for just $640,000. Another excellent return on investment. Sandler's real estate portfolio is believed to be worth as much as $40 million today. Sandler isn't known as a flashy dresser, but that doesn't mean he doesn't spend a lot of money to look the way he does. In the movie Uncut Gems, Sandler was decked out in $400,000 worth of jewelry and gold, as well as a $7,000 pair of Cartier glasses. However, in real life, he is much more subtle when it comes to the bling. He received a cool diamond necklace as a gift when he finished shooting Uncut Gems, and he showed off the custom ice when he appeared on Inside the NBA. It's definitely a cool piece, but it's nowhere near as cool as the diamond and gold encrusted Furby necklace that Sandler showed off in Uncut Gems. The Sandman also has an extensive sneaker collection, and he wears a new pair just about every day. He was spotted wearing a $400 pair of Common Projects at a Lakers game at the beginning of the year. The exclusive sneakers may not be flashy, but they are rare and expensive. Sandler doesn't just make money from acting. He also owns a production company called Happy Madison that has earned him millions. Sandler has produced many of his own movies through his production company, but Happy Madison also has made plenty of movies starring Sandler's friends. Happy Madison has produced starring vehicles for David Spade, Nick Swardson, and Rob Schneider. Schneider's Deuce Bigalow, Male Gigolo was actually a huge hit that grossed $92.9 million on a $17 million budget. Sandler made a nice chunk of change from Deuce Bigalow and wasn't even in the movie. Spade's Joe Dirt wasn't quite as successful, and Swardson's Bucky Larson was a huge box office bomb, but Sandler doesn't mind losing a bit of money if it means helping out his friends. There is no doubt that Sandler will continue to rake in millions for many more years to come.